Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Concerned Citizens Media. I have some news to share with you, so I will just go to the reading part. Then after that, I have at least 3 videos at the end of the reading. So I don't have much today, but just a little bit to spend time with you. Welcome back to Concerned Citizens Media. Thank you for joining me. Here are the news and Concerned Citizens Media comment for March 2nd, 2021. The Oromo political prisoners' hunger strike continued for 33 days. Today, Johar Mohammed, Bakala Garba, Hamza Borana appeared in person for their court hearings. They looked weak, fragile, and constantly supported by others in sitting them straight in the courtroom and in walking them out when their court session was completed. In today's hearings, the federal court ordered these political prisoners be treated by their own doctors at Landmark Hospital. This decision remains to be seen if it can be honored by Abiy Ahmed and his Attorney General office. In the past, several judges' orders ignored by Attorney General office, by federal police, and by Abiy Ahmed himself. Abiy Ahmed and his supporters have been waiting for the final days for these political prisoners. We do not expect mercy and justice from them. Let's continue our prayers for their safety and for their survival at these challenging times. So the condition is very serious. They are very, very weak. As I reported by several medias, they are between life and death. And the government is waiting for their days to declare days, because they are denying them service, medical treatment, and they didn't do any intervention, so they are waiting. I hope it will not happen. So let's continue our prayer for their safety and well-being and for their survival at this very challenging time, because they didn't do nothing. They are just political prisoners. Abiy wants to assassinate them so he can win and run the country for the next 5 years or more. BBC correspondent working for Tigray Language Service was arrested by Ethiopian troops in Tigray region. Girmay Gabru was arrested along with 4 others in cafeteria in the region's capital, Mekelle. They were taken to the nearby military camp, and the reasons for journalist Girmay and the other 4 individuals' arrests are not known or not given. Ethiopia, under Abiy Ahmed leadership, is extremely sensitive to any non-government and international media journalist reportings. Freedom of the press and independent journalism are sliding back in Ethiopia in the 21st century. Ethiopian government lies, for example, about the casualties of the war in Tigray cannot be independently verified due to Ethiopia's government restriction on independent domestic and global media. Just last week, Ethiopia agreed to let the international journalists and the media to enter the Tigray region and report from there. Ethiopia is desperately attempting to hide the war crimes, genocides, and crimes against humanity occurred in the Tigray region. No other reasons can be given for these media restrictions and the journalists' harassment by Abiy Ahmed administration. So if they have nothing to hide, they don't have to worry about these journalists, because they want to hide something big, something that incriminates them on the global stage in international criminal court, or if the government is changed in the future in Ethiopia, they could face justice. So they don't want that to happen. So that's why they don't want any independent media journalist or international journalist to report from Mekelle or from any part of that country. They want to hide their crimes. They want to hide it. A lot of happen in Oromia, but still, even if they try to hide, the reporting still will continue. COVID-19 vaccines start reaching African nations through the coordination of the United Nations. Cote d'Ivoire and Ghanaians started receiving AstraZeneca vaccine, which is the product of Oxford University in United Kingdom. China is also shipping some of its COVID-19 vaccines to Egyptians. Concerned citizens media comment. Africa, this is a comment on Africa continent in general concerning COVID-19 and their readiness in dealing with this one and future pandemic. So that's my comment here. Concerned citizens media comment. African leaders, the medical professionals, wealthy individuals, and the researchers must stop and examine their status at this 21st century. They must ask themselves if they are ready for current and future pandemic and save their citizens and themselves. COVID-19 must be used as a wake-up call for all these greedy political leaders in Africa. Waiting for vaccines handout for current virus and the future pandemic is not a valid strategy in Africa. You must invest in research and medical studies instead of grabbing everything for yourself through corruption. Your wealth is meaningless if you do not have a means to hold on it. Wake up, wake up, wake up. The survival of the continent and its citizens are at high risk in unpredicted pandemic in the future. So COVID-19 is a wake-up call in general for the global community, but especially for those African leaders, African researchers, African medical doctors, and the wealthy individuals in Africa. This is a wake-up call. So you are not ready. You are in empty hand. You are a dead fish, really, when it comes to protecting your citizens. You are waiting, still waiting to receive vaccines from other developed nations. Uh, Look, we got AstraZeneca, Moderna, Pfizer vaccine, and the fourth one is already approved now from Johnson and Johnson. So these three are from America, and the other one is from London. So when the Africans see this, they are empty. They don't have nothing, nothing at all. They just survive, you know, uh, by God willing. So concerned citizens, media is shouting on you to wake up, and uh, create a strategy in the future for something unexpected like COVID-19, instead of uh, you know, immersing yourself in corruption and grabbing everything that your country has for yourself and your family, and instead of pushing the oppositions into uh, you know, jails, and extending the changing the constitution to stay in power forever. That's what you do in Africa, trashing each other, killing each other. So you have to wake up. You are almost nothing. If something comes, the whole continent could be eliminated. So this should be a wake-up call for African nations, for those who are engaged in killing each other and staying in power forever, or you know, like the Eritrean president and the Ugandan president. All of them, they are greedy. They want to stay. But what they did, they have nothing. Nothing for the people. No protection at all. So they have to think again. Whatever wealth you collect is meaningless. It doesn't help you. When something comes like COVID-19 or other virus, you're done. You have no protection. And you don't have the capacity to create something like those scientists in America and in London. They don't have nothing, but immediately they start creating the vaccines. They did a lot within a very short time of period, because they have already prepared for other vaccines. They just manipulating that technology to create something for this. But Africans must also ready to do that, instead of grabbing and collecting the wealth of the nation for themselves and for their close relatives. You must invest in research. You must invest in a medical field, so you can protect your people from future pandemic. So that is my message. You are dead. You don't have nothing. You are empty house. Whatever wealth you collected is meaningless. Don't fight each other. Stop fighting for power. You are empty. COVID-19 must be a call up, you know, a wake up call for you to make you ready for future, and instead of just fighting each other for power, putting each other in jail, and killing each other, and conducting atrocities against your people. So that must stop, and you must get ready for future unexpected pandemic. So that is my message from Concerned Citizens Media for the whole continent, for all leaders, researchers, medical staffs, all of them. and including those who have the wealth. So that is the reading part for today. I have just few videos, then I will finish up. Today is going to be short one. Okay, let's see. Here we go.
My name is Mike Ferris. I'm the CEO of Wakeup Cybersecurity and Compliance. Wakeup approaches cybersecurity in a very unique way in the industry. We look at cybersecurity and compliance from a business standpoint first and technology second. We work with companies who are small to medium enterprises
Okay, that's
who
an
have a need to
advertisement.
implement
Okay, this is gonna
really a continuous security and continuous compliance model. And they really fall in two areas. One are clients who are
be it homemade metal shields etched with the words people, or bamboo stalks, umbrellas, garbage cans filled with bricks. These
That's
makeshift street
Myanmar,
barricades
or
against advancing security forces.
protests continue in Myanmar, also
Yangon,
known as
funnels
Burma.
pro-democracy protesters
Still going on.
continued demonstrating, despite intensifying pushback by military forces. On the eve of the one-month anniversary of the nation's military coup, security forces have stepped up their crackdown, turning to even more violent tactics as the military tries to break apart the continued nationwide protests. A use of lethal force, as well as mass arrests, that protesters say will not deter them.
This is missing in Ethiopia. This is missing in Ethiopia. These people are dying. Government is arresting them. Still they coming out every day in a big number, in a large number, despite the military force using, all, as you can see,
calling for a return to democracy,
even killing them.
release of detained government leader Aung San Suu Kyi.
But they are
We are
determined.
starting off things with the coronavirus, and today Johnson & Johnson will begin shipping out their single-dose coronavirus vaccine. You're looking right now at Shepherdsville, Kentucky. That's where they are packaging the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, putting it in boxes.
This
and
one
getting
is
it
just
ready to be
approved.
shipped out the door, and hopefully
And
in the
also
arms
it
of
looks like
Americans that
much
need it
better than the other one. You
sometime
just
soon.
need one
On
shot.
Saturday,
You don't
the
need to
FDA issued
get
an
the second
emergency use
dose.
authorization for the drug manufacturer, giving the country a third immunization option in the race to get everyone vaccinated. Health experts say Americans should jump at the chance to take any vaccine that is available to them. So CBS News' Deborah Alfarone is on Capitol Hill with the very latest. I say jump at the chance because this Johnson & Johnson vaccine, it's a little different than the two other vaccines. Its efficacy rate is a little bit lower, but experts say no. If you have an opportunity to get this vaccine, you should take it.
Take whatever you can. That's what they're saying, basically, Anne-Marie. You're absolutely right. And, we want to make sure that no matter what the efficacy rate is, I mean, hey, it's better than not having it at all. And we are facing some serious situations here in this country. The rates are kind of hopping up a little bit again. But again, just going back to this Johnson & Johnson vaccine, it is one dose. That's it, just one dose. And it can be refrigerated in normal refrigerator temperatures for up to 3 months.
Yeah.
Nearly 4 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine will start shipping out this morning.
So this is a much easier logistical vaccine to administer.
It's the third coronavirus vaccine to receive an emergency use authorization from the FDA. The first that requires only one shot.
A really impressive vaccine because it is refrigerated, not frozen. So I'm very enthusiastic about this vaccine, and I truly believe whichever vaccine you can get first take it.
While the efficacy rate to prevent getting sick from COVID-19 isn't as high as Pfizer or Moderna, trial data shows
I prefer
J&J is
taking this one instead of
100%
getting 2
effective
times.
at preventing hospitalizations and deaths.
I will take the first
I
one
don't want to
that
get
is
2
offered to
times
me.
shot.
I want that protection as soon as possible.
Johnson & Johnson projects 20 million doses will be available by the end of this month and 100 million by the end of June.
We're going to get tens of thousands of additional vaccines per week, per state. It's just going to get us to the finish line that much faster.
Pfizer and Moderna have promised 600 million doses by the summer, meaning every American who wants a vaccine should then be able to get one.
And we're not done yet. There are at least 2 or 3 other vaccines that are in trials right now.
Among them, vaccines from Novavax and AstraZeneca, which are finishing U.S. trials before submitting applications to the FDA.
And we can report that those vaccine doses are shipping out right now as we are live on the air. It's really exciting stuff. I do want to tell you, though, that the Biden administration is saying it's going to be a little uneven, the shipping, for the next couple of weeks. That the 3.9 million are going out now. None are going out next week. There's going to be 16 million in total. They're promising by the end of March, but most of those will go out towards the end of March. Anne-Marie.
Okay, so the vaccines are already being shipped out the door. When will they get into people's arms?
Great question. You think if they're shipping out right now, they could actually be received and in people's arms tomorrow. That's the good news. They're coming from Shepherdsville, Kentucky. These were actually created and made in the Netherlands. They're trying to get their Baltimore production facility up to speed right now, and once they do that, that shipping time could be even sooner. So I would not be surprised if people are getting these shots tomorrow.
So like the other 2 vaccines, the CDC voted to recommend this vaccine for people 18 and over. Any word on people younger than 18, children, and people sort of in that category?
Yeah, they're actually going to be doing trials on that, Anne-Marie. So it looks like they're going to be first testing the vaccine in children who are between the ages of 12 and 18. That's the first trial they're going to be doing. After that, they're going to be testing in younger people younger than 12. Then they're going to be testing also newborns, pregnant women, and people who are immunocompromised. So they're getting that testing underway and getting a whole bunch of people, getting some information, because right now we don't know what this does for people in those categories.
Deborah Alfarone, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good day, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. So this is going to be a Horn of Africa update, detailing the continued events inside of Ethiopia, Tigray, Eritrea, Sudan. So I'm going to talk about 4 different things in this episode. First, there has been continued and heavy fighting between Ethiopian National Defense Forces and Sudanese forces located along their common border. It is being reported that Ethiopian National Defense Forces have in fact suffered a military defeat at the hands of Sudanese forces in this area. And we will continue to monitor the ongoing conflict that is going on in this area. Another issue at hand, it would appear that Sudan may have conducted a simulated attack run by multi-role fighter bombers against the Grand Renaissance Dam. And this simulated attack run by these fighter jets were specifically looking at the possibility of targeting or simulating the targeting of dam infrastructure, these sites that would go along in terms of facilitating the building, construction, and upkeep of the dam. We've also heard some news out that possible third-party North African nations may have supplied electronic warfare, radar jamming aircraft in this operation along with Sudan as well. One of the reasons for this is Ethiopia has declared this area around the Grand Renaissance Dam a no-fly zone and has moved somewhat advanced air defense systems into the area. So again, Sudan possibly operating simulated attack runs against targets around the dam, maybe not specifically the dam itself, but infrastructure targets that would support the dam. And then finally, the third party possibly offering support, and that could possibly be Egypt. And then finally, we know now that the USS Winston Churchill is now operating inside of the Red Sea, along with some other amphibious assets belonging to the United States as well. And obviously we all know from my last report, the United States has issued a very strong warning to Eritrea that they must withdraw immediately from Tigray. And again, I think we are seeing some movements on the part of the United States in bringing forces into the region for any kind of contingency that may be needed. Specifically, the USS Winston Churchill is a Arleigh Burke class destroyer, and some other amphibious assets and intelligence assets as well has been moved into the region. And then finally, inside of Tigray, there has been reports of multiple ambushes by Tigray Defense Forces against Ethiopian National Defense Forces. In at least one of these recent ambushes, equipment and personnel of the Ethiopian National Defense Forces have been captured. And fighting continues.
Okay, thank you, the voice of reason. So this guy, he, just like the other guy, he follow the situation in Ethiopia, around that area, and he bring news with a satellite, even though he's not showing us in a detail. Roughly, he try to show us the areas. So that's is a good thing to check it out. Voice of Reason. The other one is My View on News. That one also, he follows Ethiopia, Sudan, Eritrea. So I'm trying to get, any news that focus on that area, on Ethiopia, Eritrea, Sudan, and the hydro dam. So as he said, yes, the Ethiopian military ship is heading to that area. He suggested they might use for attack in the future. We don't know the reason, but it's right there. Also, the Russian military ship also heading that area to establish a naval base. So it could be a competition, or it could be for some other reasons. We don't know, but it should be reported. So that's interesting to watch the big powers coming to that region, as it is gonna benefit us for our movement. It could be, is it against our movement? We don't know, but currently the Russians also sending their own ship to Sudan America is also sending its military ship to that area, establishing a relationship with Sudan. It could be used for any possibilities. If the Eritreans refuse to get out from Ethiopia, it could be used against them, or the Ethiopian under Abiy Ahmed continue to conduct genocide, war crimes against humanity. Americans with other nations will act. They will not tolerate. The new administration already said they do not tolerate anti-democratic activities in Africa or anywhere. So that is a hope for Oromo movement and other freedom lovers to establish a more democratic, peaceful country. Under Abiy Ahmed, that country is heading to the toilet. Even though they try to run a election, they try to conduct election. No. Everywhere is a command post. People hate each other. They don't want to live each other under Abiy Ahmed leadership. War is going on in Tigray region, as you heard. Matakal, Gumuz area is under command post. Oromia is under the command post. Nowhere is peace. So what election they talking about? They want legitimacy, but it doesn't mean nothing. First, they have to bring all the stakeholders to establish a stable country, a peaceful country, instead of running for election and instead of running for recognition and acceptance. No way. You will not be successful in such a way, by killing people, by torturing people, by looting people, by raping ladies, girls. This is very common under Abiy Ahmed, very common. So let's continue the movement, the protest, the social campaigning, and continue supporting the struggle in every way possible, and follow the news, and we'll see if change is coming sooner or later. It's gonna come, but don't give up. Keep your resistance movement. Don't expect it to happen tomorrow. It takes longer time, because this guy is not like Haile Mariam Desalegn. He will not resign. There's too much blood in his hand. He will not resign easily unless he sees some force. So too much blood on their hand for the last 3 years, and before that for the last 27 years. So keep the movement continue. I will be back with other news and comments from concerned citizens media. Africans, listen to my call. Wake up. You are empty. You are waiting for the handout. At this 21st century, you got talent, but you got to invest in that talent to create vaccines for COVID-19 and other future unexpected pandemic. So shame on you, Africa. Shame. You know how to kill each other. You know how to bother each other. You know how to destroy each other. So you need to stop that and think about the future for yourself and for your citizens. Thank you. and please subscribe to the channel Concerned Citizens Media. Share it with your friend and family, and like it so others can also others will be interested, and they will also watch it. Thank you for what you did in the past, and we'll grow together so we can be the voice for the voiceless. So long, everyone.